Hello people, this is behind the scenes video of my work on Nioh. This is work I do on Nioh 2, and you're gonna see some behind the scenes stuff I do when and how I mod the game. Currently I'm working on Ryomen Sukuna, a non-playable boss character. Actually in Nioh you only play as one character and that's it. The other stuff is just some customs you equip. So here we are. I'm working on making his attacks directly usable. So by default you can use the controller. I'm using controller. You have item slot skills which do different attacks, and the normal attack button for X, I, B, A, which A is used to dodge, and B key usually most of the times does nothing, but with some enemies it works. It has some attack assigned to it. Then of course you can swap the presets for the attacks and be able to use other moves, but not all attacks are usable by default in some bosses and enemies, so you have to mod the game in order to further mod the game in order to be able to use those attacks. And my goal here is to make this boss have all his attacks directly usable, so I don't have to swap these presets of items in order to be able to do different attacks I want. I want just to start playing as this character and be able to utilize him to the full extent. So doing attacks, doing combos, able to cancel attacks and stuff like that. So here we go to cheat engine, where I'm currently working on, and here we have nothing. So I'm currently modifying the data structure for the attacks, which I am currently assigning, and then using a script to change stuff. So here we go. Up above is a script I'm using to do different attacks and cancel attacks and stuff like that. So we go back here. This script is not yet ready to be used. We're going to later update it, but first we need to map the attacks correctly. So this is what I'm doing actually, not you. And I'm going to press right pad key, and of course when I'm in the first preset, so right pad key does this, and I already have assigned it, so this is what it is, this is what it is, it matches. So we move to X key. I'm gonna press X key and then see the ID. So we have this. Then of course I have to update the pointers to match the X key, which is very crucial. We have CA F4, so this means we have to lower this by 3 and then continue reduce, and now this matches the correct input data for the X key. Pressing X key does this attack, which is 3184. Now if we continue further and do another attack, we will see the other ID, which has increased. The pointer leads to the location of this attack data, and I can basically even map different attacks from combos, but I do that only after I have first mapped all the attacks and non-usable attacks as well. Then I give, if I have free slots, like free place to map different hotkeys on the controller, then I add additional parts of combos. End attacks or strings connect that are usually done after a specific attack and not directly. So I give you a bit more freedom when it comes to playing as this enemy, this boss character. And now we have done already that. We have already mapped this. Now the A key obviously is not correct. Usually dodges are 31. So I'm gonna press A key and then pause the game, and we have the 31 ID, which is the dodge ID. So now we have to go to this address ED 434, then map the key, which is even further than here. So I suspect it should be 67, 68, 69, or maybe 70. Exactly. And then we shall reduce it like 6F40, and this is exactly the location of 31. It matches here. So my goal here as a developer is to use all these structures I'm currently creating. First doing the attacks, the already accessible attacks. Then I'm going to change these IDs and then do other attacks and see what changes. See if I do some attack I normally cannot do, or if I try to find attacks that are usually not usable when I play as this character, but I control this because there is no input data for these attacks. So basically what I am doing is replacing attacks that we can do and nulling them by disabling the first item attacks, item sorts attacks, and the X, A, B keys, I attacks, so they do nothing, but instead you can use different hotkeys on the controller in order to do every single attack this current enemy has. And Ryomen Sukuna is different because he's basically two entities into one, if not three, considering his legs are also different entity, which the game merges when combined, when you spawn them all on the same level, and they're attached to the either enemy character, enemy, or the player character. So it's not just one single entity, it's three different entities. One is the red torso, the blue torso, and the legs, which makes three. So once I progress that, you see it's not very fast thing. This is just the first preset. X, A, B, I keys usually are shared between the four item slots, but the arrow keys are different items, different slots, and they do different attacks. So I have to map for preset 2, preset 3, and if this enemy has moveset swaps like R1I, R1X, R1A key, which is used to change the style of the weapon stance for the player character, this changes also stances for non-playable characters. If they have like katana and you want to use different stance and they have that made, this means I have to make even 3 times this stuff because to assign to different stands, and each one has different uh, data that attacks data per item slots and per XIBA keys. Sometimes it also has different attack combinations, so we need to make sure that these attacks work properly. First, you can cancel them, you can do all the attacks and you don't get stuck. You don't do attacks that despawn you. We remove those and make sure that the enemy actually works. So I'm gonna demonstrate to you. This is the up key. I'm gonna press the up key. This is what he does. It's basically he's swapping with the other part of himself. Now I'm gonna change up key to something else, and you're gonna see he will do another attack. I'm gonna even further increase it. And now this is what the key does. So this is an attack I never saw him doing, because usually he should be shooting something. So, oh yes, these are decimal values, which mean now it's time to 300. And here is probably the full attack. So here we are. And I'm going to restore back to as it was, because I'm going to use this. First I'm going to assign the normal attacks which are already available, so you don't lose them, you can do them. And then you can also, and then I'm going to assign attacks that are not available normally with normal inputs. So these attacks usually are attacks you can't normally do. And make a script out of these slots and data. So based on different enemies, this can take from 1 hour to almost a day just for one single enemy. And as a single sole person working on this, it takes a lot of time for me and devotion. And that's it. I'm very slow working on this stuff because my health is not good, and despite all of this, I have passion toward my projects and I do them for fun. And I want to show this behind the scenes video. This is just the attacks, and I don't show you the other fixes I do. But you can take a look on what's going to happen, and then you see when you use this mod and what's being done. So thank you. This is one of the videos. Maybe I will post more videos. I don't know if I have time. And I hope you enjoyed my publishing of this mod weeks ago. A new update will come to public. First I share with Patreons because of early access and because they support my work. Then I will publish these updates to public after a week or two, after the early access is over. This is a way to express thanks to those who support me by donating, and on the other hand to share with people after the early access expires. So everybody gets eventually these releases, and my work is being contributed. I expected some activity from people who got this mod, not just to ask for links, but unfortunately I'm not seeing that currently, which disappoints me. And if these things continue, I will not even share to Patreons because money are not something that actually matter for me. It's mostly activity and feedback I value above everything else, but it seems that people don't think that way, and this is where the misunderstandings come from them and toward me. They think that I do that for price or stuff like that. No, I don't want your thanks. I don't want your, oh, what a great mod. No, I want activity. I want feedback. This enemy stuck there. This enemy can pass this door. This attack I can do. Can you do make these attacks available? I will show you a video. You can see that the attacks there, and you can see that you can do these attacks. So can you fix these attacks? Stuff like that is real feedback, but I don't get that. I never got anything good. The only thing I got is, well, this doesn't work there. I can do that, like my mod doesn't activate and stuff like that, which, you know, this is considered bug reporting, not feedback. And the only thing that doesn't activate in this mod is a script which replaces the characters, and I think I updated that, even if this is not my script. All other stuff in the mod table is mine. It was made to work on all versions, just the swapper is not mine. It's belonging to person named Benzoingen, so he made that script. You should go ask him why it doesn't work. I can make something to ease the pain of replacing the characters, but you already have the basic of that, so you can actually make something on your own instead of just ranting on Reddit and other forums saying that I am being toxic and salty and I don't know. Uh, it's easy to blame somebody because of your own inability to follow instructions or to properly report stuff without ranting, whining, and complaining. But I hope these videos will show you that this work is not an easy one. It needs skills, it needs practice, and most above all, will, ambition, and patience, because everything is basically trial and error, and you have to find stuff, check, try, see errors, fix it, and continue with your doing and have passion toward what you want to achieve. Standing idle, being lazy, this is not something that's going to give you anything. It's just going to give you nothing. Nothing comes from the air. So this is it. Thank you for watching this behind the videos, behind the scenes of modding Nioh 2. I hope you understand me now. See ya.